Factorising. So, often I get asked the question, well, what is that? What does it mean? You may remember doing something called factor trees. So factorising is changing a number like 330 into its factors. So for example, I know that I could multiply 33 by 10, and that is going to give me 330. So I have two factors here. I have factorised this number down to this. I could keep going too. I can go ahead and factorise the number 33. So the two numbers that multiply to give that would be 3 and 11. 3 times 11 gives me the 33. And for 10, I've got two factors that I can use there, 2 times 5. So this is called a factor tree, and hopefully you have seen that before. The thing that you'll notice in a factor tree is right at the bottom of all the branches, all of these numbers are prime numbers. And so that's a way that you know that you've gotten down to your lowest factors. So this idea of thinking about a number and splitting it into its factors is very important as we move into the next section. So let's have a look at an example like this in terms of algebra. So if I have 5x plus 20 and I want to write this as a factor, a product of two factors. Here, 330, if I just change my colours here, so we know 330 is 33 times 10, so I have a product of two factors. I want to write this expression as something multiplied by something. So this is what we are going to do in this section. So at the moment this is written in expanded form, and I want to write it in factorised form. So it's going to equal something multiplied by something, and this is what we call factorised form. Okay, so let's have a little bit of a think about how we would do that. So, what we're going to look at are the two numbers. Let's ignore the x for the minute. Okay, look at the number 5 and look at the number 20. What is the highest common factor of those? So HCF, you may have remembered that. So highest common factor of, we're looking at the two numbers 5 and 20, and our question is, what is that? So remember, highest common factor, this is where we think about what number can I divide into 5 and into 20, but it needs to be the largest number that I can divide into 5 and into 20. So hopefully you're thinking, okay, well the largest number I can divide into 5 and into 20 is going to be the number 5. 5 divided by 5 gives me 1, 20 divided by 5 gives me 4. So 5 can be divided into both of those numbers. So when we go from our expanded form to our factorised form, once we've found the highest common factor, again I'm going to change colours, that highest common factor ends up being one of our factors. So up here, remember 330, we had one factor of 33, one of 10. So when I find my highest common factor, that is one of my factors. Now think about this, we're going 5 multiplied by something. And that has to give me this answer that I've got over here on the left-hand side. It's got to equal 5x plus 20. So I'm actually going to have to multiply by a bracketed group where there's going to be a plus in the middle. So do you remember this? We go 5 times the first thing and 5 times the second thing. That's how we get to our expanded form. So you could think about this problem this way. For 5 times what is going to give me 5x? Ah, well, 5 times x is going to give me 5x. And then 5 times what is going to give me 20? And then you would just go 5 times 4 will give me 20. And that's how you end up with your factorised form.